Let's talk about perfectionism, not as some kind of badge of honor or a humble brag in a job interview. Let's talk about it as the silent struggle that so many of us know, but never, ever name. It's an image you manage so carefully, isn't it? Polished, competent, always in control. But what's it really like on the inside? It's a deep, profound, and constant exhaustion.
And that's really the heart of it all. The force that's driving you isn't a desire for excellence. It's a deep, quiet terror of what might happen if you ever, for 1 second, stop performing.
To really understand that terror, we have to reframe what perfectionism actually is. It's not just a personality trait, it's something else entirely. It's a survival strategy. Think about that for a moment. A strategy, one you likely learned a very long time ago. And it's a strategy built on this fundamental belief that your flaws aren't just imperfections, they're genuine threats to your safety and your place in the world. And these are the core beliefs that power that whole engine. The idea that a single mistake could make you unlovable, that a flaw could leave you totally exposed, that one failure could make you disposable. And like most survival strategies that run this deep, this one almost always begins in childhood.
In an environment that felt maybe a little unstable or even unsafe, you made a very logical calculation as a child. You decided that if you could just be perfect, if you could control every little outcome, then maybe, just maybe, you could avoid getting hurt. Perhaps your parents were unpredictable. Maybe affection felt like a reward for something you achieved, something conditional. Maybe you learned that praise was something you had to earn, and that your performance was the price of admission to feeling loved.
And this is the lesson that settles deep, deep into your bones, that you don't just have value for being you. You have value for what you do, for what you achieve, and for what you produce. So your mind adapted. It became this finely tuned instrument, not for ambition, but for threat detection. This is the vigilant mind. You know, people see your drive and they call it ambition, but you know what it really is? It's a constant low-grade state of alert. It's hypervigilance, just disguised as high performance. Your nervous system is caught in this relentless, exhausting loop, constantly scanning for what could go wrong, bracing for criticism, rehearsing every conversation, and then replaying every minor error, always preparing for the worst. It's absolutely exhausting. And you tell yourself this is how you get better. This is self-improvement. But if you listen really closely, that internal voice isn't a coach, it's a critic. This isn't about improving yourself, it's about punishing yourself. And here is the cruelest part of this entire strategy. It doesn't even deliver the feeling that it promises. You reach the goal, you get the promotion, you win the award. And for a split second, there's relief. But it never, ever lasts, does it? The satisfaction is completely hollow. Because your entire identity has been built on your performance, any mistake feels catastrophic. It's not just a misstep, it feels like a total collapse of who you are, putting your entire sense of self at risk. So when you fall short, the thought isn't a simple observation about an action you took. The thought is about your very being. The failure isn't something you did, it's something you are. And this is the terrifying question that perfectionism is designed to keep you from ever having to face. The fear that without the performance, without the achievements, there's just nothing of value left. And so, the strategy you develop to keep yourself safe, it ends up costing you the very things you want the most. This is the true price of performance. You chase perfection to feel safe, to feel connected, but the constant performing creates a wall. And it doesn't lead to connection, it leads to distance. It doesn't lead to safety, but to chronic anxiety, and sooner or later, to burnout. And this is the profound loneliness of it all. People might admire the performance, but no one gets close to the person behind the mask. And sometimes, not even you. So how does this change? It doesn't change by trying harder. It changes by softening. The way out isn't another goal for you to perfectly achieve. Healing is not another achievement to be won. It's permission. The truly radical act is to give yourself permission. Permission to be human, to be messy. Permission to be wrong, to be learning. And maybe the hardest one of all, permission to simply be enough right now, without having to prove a thing. It all starts by gently asking yourself a new question. Not, how can I avoid failure? But what if failure has absolutely nothing to do with my worth? This is the final reframe.
It is not who you are. It is not your identity. It is a wound from the past doing its very best to protect you.
And that wound begins to heal, not when you finally achieve perfection, but when you finally give yourself permission to exist without earning it. To just be human. And here,